what's up with Sean Baligian?
What up, this is Joyce Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. What is up? Thursday. Glad you could join us. Joyce Bell, Sean Baligian. What Thursday is it, Joyce?
It's throw up Thursdays after what I saw yesterday.
Amen to that.
Throw up Thursdays.
That's a good call.
Yeah, a great call.
Nobody's going to argue with that.
Yeah, throw up Thursdays.
I don't care who you are. If you're not disgusted by what transpired yesterday, man, I don't know what to tell you.
And this is a sports show, but we have a platform, man. I feel like we have to talk about it. Or how do you feel about that?
It was disgusting. It was disgusting. I'm going to say the same thing that I said in the summer, though, okay? At least I'm consistent. I am all down 100% support for peaceful protests.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest. The second that you riot, you loot, you light something on fire, you're a criminal. And like this is where our country's at right now, and it hurts my soul because two people can look at the same thing and somebody can say, well, they have a right to be pissed off. Well, yeah, that's true, but you're a criminal if you're burning things, if you're looting, if you're trespassing. If you're doing criminal activity, you're a freaking criminal, man. It's not that difficult.
I thought BLM turned up.
Right?
The capital, right? The capital, if you can look at doing the BLM movement or protesting.
I need to see you. I'm moving this mic so I can see.
Yeah, no, you just pull that top part down.
Can I put this down?
Yes.
All right, down it goes. All right.
They had, what was that, the National Guards on the porch, like on the front. You couldn't even get past. None of that went down yesterday. I mean, to storm the Capitol.
It's disgusting.
And make it to the Senate floor.
It's disgusting. Like, it's funny.
What?
This is what Scott said. And Scott, I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. But I think, in my opinion, we all need to get on the same page in one unified voice in this regard. Scott said, good morning. Keep this part short. I need a break from the negativity that's all over the television. Dude, 100%, I feel you. But you know what we have? We as a society have to have these conversations. And like I said, I'm not going tit for tat. I'm not saying, well, you did this in the summer, this happened there. No. You know what? We as a society have to look at people breaking things and saying, you're a criminal. We have to look at people rushing the Capitol and saying, you're criminals. We have to. Our society's not going to exist unless we can all get on the same page like that. Like, we all have to do that, you know? I mean, it's not that difficult to figure out.
It's not that difficult to figure out, but at the same time, you have people that are stuck in their ways that were raised a certain way, that believe certain things that the rest of the country, you have some people that's, with the Black Lives march that I put on, it was all races, all colors, all shapes, all sizes, officers, state troopers, civilians, everyday hardworking blue collar people, together saying like that. I think what we orchestrated for that march is what we need going. It was what we need going forward. What I saw yesterday was honestly, I wasn't shocked, which is sad to say. I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked.
Isn't that sad? That's a sad commentary in and of itself.
Like you said, I want to keep it short, man. I want to focus on the positivity. I wanted to bring it up. I wanted to bring attention to it, but just to see how far they were able to get compared to
it's disgusting.
Compared to even the peaceful protesters, what they had to go through for peaceful protesting when they were doing the Black Lives Matter.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
No, it is.
I mean, it's a blatant smack in the face. It's blatant it's blatant racism.
Well,
it is.
No, you know what I think, and I'm gonna talk the other side for a second, because what pissed me off in the summer, and I hope you take this in the right context. This is not tit for tat. We don't get anywhere as a society when we play the, well, you did this or you did that. The whataboutism, I think, is the best way to say it. You know what disgusted me in the summer is for every protest like you had, and I would hope that everybody is down with peaceful protests. There's that famous picture from CNN of this fire blazing behind one of the reporters, right? This fire's just blazing, right? And the headline says, mostly peaceful protest. What the hell are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Everything's burning behind you. Mm-hmm. Let's call that what it is. Mm-hmm. Criminals burned things, period. And I think that's where we have to get. And I'm with you, Joik. I am 100% behind anybody that wants to do something peaceful. I think it's fantastic that you did that. And you and I think, look at this in a different perspective than the average human being because of who our fathers are. All right? My dad's a police officer. My dad's a good man. My dad saw what happened in Minneapolis and was disgusted, was absolutely disgusted, as I think most police officers were. You know what I mean? I'm sure your dad was the same way. You know, they don't want to see that because they know what people are saying. You know what I mean? And it hurts your soul that there's somebody that could look at that and go, no, man, you're justified in acting that way. No, you're not justified in acting that way. Mm-hmm. You're a criminal. You killed a man. I just, it blows my mind, dude. It hurts.
It does hurt. So you sit back and you say your father is a good man. I say my father's a good man. Do we have good police officers, or do we have good men that are police officers in a police system?
There's bad apples. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
there's bad apples. Period.
No, so it's a lot of history that we have to teach ourselves, just about the policing system, how it was created. It's a lot of things that we have to go through, and we can say those topics for another day. I mean, we have Kennedy. She does a great job of coming up with an outline of what we're supposed to talk about every single day. And, she does a great job at it. But at times like this, I feel like we have to kind of divert and really talk about the thing that's really going on in our society and not just what's going on in sports, because I love sports, but I love my country too.
I love human beings.
Yeah.
I regardless of who they are, I think humans are pretty cool. And there are a lot of humans in this country that are hurting right now. And I hope, and this is the optimist in me, I hope that yesterday was such a disgusting display that we as human beings start being nicer to each other.
Yeah.
Just start being nicer to each other. It's
inspired.
I feel like I'm not. Yeah. I told young Kennedy, I felt like somebody punched my soul yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I watched it for a few minutes, and then you know what I did? I went to my happy place. Yeah. My happy place is the grocery store.
Yeah, I had to shut down my social media. I had to stop watching it.
Yeah, you do. I hate to sound cheesy, and if you guys want to call me a big wimp, go right ahead. It hurts my soul. Like to the point where like I felt like I was going to cry. So I said to my son, I said, you want to go to the grocery store? He goes, yeah, let's get the hell out of here. So seriously, that's my happy place. I went to the grocery store. My son and I went grocery shopping. Yeah. We bought some alcoholic beverages. I can say that. We if all else fails, self-medicate, baby. But all jokes aside, it really I'm glad you brought it up because I hope there's a lesson from this. Yeah. I really, gosh damn, I hope there's a lesson. We got to be nice to each other, man.
You know what, man? You know what, Art? I called Art last night because I literally turned on my social media. I got on Call of Duty. And Art asked me to get on Call of Duty yesterday. And I'm like, all right, I'll hop on tomorrow night. And then I call Art. I'm on the game. I'm waiting for him to get on. And you guess what? He's at the skate park. He's not there for me. Art is never there for me when I need him.
So now you're valuing this friendship, is what you're saying.
Yeah, when it comes to Call of Duty, I mean, you the one who asked me to get on.
I asked you, I said, hey, Joik, do you want to get on for a game tonight? And you said, yeah. Yes, and then, I never get to leave the house. I got too many kids. I was offered an opportunity to go to the skate park.
At least shoot me a text and say, listen, I'm not hopping on. Just communication.
But did I not help you get your stream all set up?
It was already set up.
So then why did you call me?
Huh?
Why?
Because somebody has said that they couldn't see me.
Okay, so I didn't help you set up the stream, but I helped you fix it as a friend?
As a friend, yeah. And
did you hear it? Did you hear it?
I heard it.
Hold on.
I heard it.
Let me finish.
I can't wait to go for a ride in his Tesla. I'm so excited. Just
let me
bros.
finish saying. Can I finish my sentence?
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, as a friend, you suck, and so I don't want to have you as a friend. So let me get my.
Jenna said Joik and Art have such a beautiful bromance.
I just look at it like, listen, I know I asked you to get on COD, but I remember you saying in front of Baligian that I have to beat you in Plunder first. So I just figured, I said it as like a, hey, do you want to play COD? You said, yeah, sure, I'd love to, best friend. I said, whoa, settle down, okay? We're not best friends yet. And then you were on the stream, but I was at the skate park, man. I was getting my
That's
grind
another
in.
thing that's wrong with this country. There's a lot of people that lie, and they're not truthful. All right, you need to go into politics.
I need to go into
You want to go in politics?
No. I have a bad history, no.
Too many skeletons in the closet, right? Yeah, I know that.
We have Grammy Whammy. Good morning, guys. Shaking my head. I know.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
amen,
I'm with you,
Grammy
Grammy Whammy.
I hope we all unify.
What up, Darren? What up, Doe? Jenna said, me and Art have a bromance. It's so beautiful. Jenna, be quiet. I love you.
I did
love you,
ask
Jenna.
you. I
I
did
love you,
ask
Jenna.
you what size shoe you wear because you have some very nice shoes.
And I told you I wear your size. What up?
So I wear a 10.5. You don't wear a 10.5.
Oh, okay. Don't
You
ask
wear
what
like an
size I wear.
8.5.
I don't think you know when a guy asks you what size shoe you wear in my hood, that means he gonna try to he want to know what size you wear so he can take them. And so that's how it was when I grew up. So when you ask me what my size is, I'm gonna say it's your size. I ain't take my shoes.
So you thought this was like jail talk? Like I was gonna push
not
you
jail
into the
talk.
wall and take your shoes? Do you see the size difference?
It don't matter. Size don't matter.
You gonna finish that? It's almost like that's my routine. Like when I'm eating with my friends, that's my running gag. Is you gonna finish that? That's my way of saying, come on, hand that over. That's great. Hey, Michigan basketball.
They going crazy.
I don't
Undefeated.
think people are talking enough about them. That's a darn good team.
That's a good team.
You know, I've always used this analogy, Joy. Can you tell me if you agree with this? I mean, you're a football guy, okay? Like it's almost like for a lot of people, think of the sporting world like a plate of food, right? Mm-hmm. And there's only so much room on your plate. You got the NFL here, then you have this big section on your plate of the Lions. You got college football here. Some of us have some high school here. Maybe a big dash of hockey in there for some people. NBA. It's almost like college basketball is forgotten about until around this time of year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the diehards are going to be there, but for the rest of us, there's so much on our sports plate that maybe you don't get a chance to dive in and watch. I'll tell you point blank, I'm not going to sit down and watch a 2-hour Michigan basketball game in December and the early part of January because there are so many other things going on. Right. And so when you get an opportunity to do it, that was my takeaway from it yesterday. I was like, this is a damn good team. And I don't think enough people are talking about, hey, look,
I mean,
Michigan's the best team right now.
They are. They have Hunter Dickinson playing great basketball.
Yep.
He got freshman of the week, four times this season already? Is it 4 or 5 now? I think it's about 4 or 5.
Stud.
Yeah. 4 in the past 5 weeks.
4 in the past 5 weeks. I mean, he's shooting up crazy numbers. He's shooting 73% from field goal, 73%. He's not even bad at the free throw line. He's shooting 73% at the free throw line as well. I like him. I like him a lot, man. Physical. He can finish plays. And he has a good basketball IQ. And he has a good surrounding cast.
You know what's interesting about this? And somebody brought this up on Facebook, and we always appreciate your comments, like on all media platforms. But Demetrius said, did I get the sense that head coach Juwan Howard is the mayor of Ann Arbor at this point? Dennis added, I hate to say it, but Michigan is a basketball school now. Juwan has the team rolling on all cylinders. Go color that rhymes with glue. And you know what's interesting about that? You know, I'm never going to say that word. I'm not putting those two words together.
Yes,
sorry.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's kind of turning from what it was when I grew up.
Oh.
Michigan's turning, but that's true what he's saying.
No
Michigan's
question.
turning into a basketball school. And kind of how MSU used to have like those streaky seasons where they'll be on fire, then they'll drop back off. Like Michigan's at the point where they're low with the football, but basketball they're up here now.
Oh yeah.
And so it's kind of like it's swapped out with MSU.
Well, it really is. I mean, I know Michigan football fans used to get mad at me for saying this, and I'm not trying to troll you. I'm just telling you the way it is. Michigan football has become an also-ran for a long time, whereas Michigan basketball has been able to make 2 wild and crazy runs to the championship game. Now, has it worked out? No, it hasn't worked out. But I go back to when Juwan Howard was brought in. I said it then, I say it now, I think Juwan Howard is perfect for this gig. Here's a guy that lives and breathes Michigan, that's been there, that wore the uniform, that knows the young players, that knows the recruiting game, that knows all of that stuff. And I'll tell you what, Joik, I don't know if you know him at all. Just a good dude. Juwan Howard he was a good dude back then, and he's a good dude now.
Right.
And like honestly, that's the type of guy, fandom aside, you root for a guy like that. Like I've heard you say this and a lot of other people say this, okay? Well, I'm not a Michigan State fan per se, but I like Tom Izzo. I like the way Tom Izzo does things and things like that. I feel that way about Michigan basketball for the last couple of coaches. I liked John Beilein. I like Juwan Howard. You know what I mean? So it's and I don't care what anybody says. When you have 2 teams, playing at a high level, we all win. If Michigan State and Michigan are 2 premier programs, doesn't that make everything better? And that's what I'm praying for in football. It just seems like they keep going like this and, missing each other, a year here, a year there. They both have really good teams. But in college basketball, it could be something special, man. Because Michigan isn't going anywhere. And I quite frankly, I think they're the best team in these parts, all sports combined right now by a pretty good margin.
They are. I mean, you can look at their record. I mean, they're 10-0 right now. They have who do they have tonight?
No, last night. They don't play again till, right off the top of my head. Is it Saturday? Fact check me.
Got postponed.
Yeah, Saturday got postponed. That's right. Saturday got postponed.
10-0, undefeated. Every game except for Penn State, 80+, scoring at will.
Yeah.
High power offense, can move the ball around, defensively playing well. I'm interested to see how they play against some of the better programs.
Don't sleep on his basketball knowledge, by the way. I have it on pretty good authority that you were quite the baller back in the day.
Who told you this?
You know what I'm talking about.
Who told you this?
I know this. Come on, Joik, you know me.
Hold on, Wayne State? Did you talk to somebody?
Those were some of the people that told me that you were quite the baller. I heard about some of the studs you played with out in Benton Harbor.
Oh, yeah, we had some studs.
I heard about you could have played at Wayne State, but a particular coach didn't want you to play basketball and football.
He wouldn't let me play any other sport. We had multiple players on our team playing multiple sports. We had a guy, Dan Barnes, played D-line for us, and then he was a pitcher for the baseball team. We had a guy who played cornerback for us. He let him play baseball as well. We had all these guys playing multiple sports. I went out for batting practice one time, and he went to the head. Our head football coach went to the head baseball coach and said, "Hey, I heard Joik Bell was out at batting practice today." He said, "Oh, you heard that?" He said, "Yeah, I heard that." He said, "Well, I don't want to hear it again." That's what he went.
Was it P-Dubs?
That's what P-Dubs said.
That's great.
Yeah. And at the time, the coach, who was the coach at the time? I think Coach Jay Alexander, before Ryan Kelly.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Kelly.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Kelly. And so whenever if you ever with me and Coach Kelly walks by, he'll say, "Hey, come out to band practice."
All right. So somebody told me, and I'm going to ask you this. Somebody told me that they thought that you could have been an even better basketball player than football player. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I would disagree with that. I would say I would have been a better baseball player.
Really?
Yeah. 4 years varsity, numerous state champs in Little League. Went to the World Series tournament in Kentucky when they used to have it in Kentucky. Went to that twice. So four-sport athlete, man. I used to love baseball. First love. It was my first love.
By the way, Kenny, I couldn't agree with you more. Kenny said Izzo was going to get this thing turned around by the time we play Michigan. If you're a Michigan State basketball fan, you are so used to this. You set your watch and you just know Tom Izzo will have the boys ready. You know, for me, watching Michigan State, it's more about defense. You know, they got – you and I talked about this off the air. Michigan State has looked soft at times defensively. You don't think Tom Izzo's going to hammer that home? You don't. I mean, you're out your mind. If you want to be the guy that counts out Tom Izzo, good luck with that. He's going to get that team going.
I'm going to tell you this. You can't teach toughness. You can't teach that. You either got it or you don't. And if it's in you and it needs to be poured out, then if playing at one of the highest stages of your life doesn't pull it out of you, I don't know what will.
They've looked soft at times. Yeah. No doubt about it. Nobody can deny that.
Get in the weight room.
Yep. It'll be interesting.
Get in the weight room.
All right, listen, going to take a quick break. Some crazy stuff out there. I don't know if you heard the story about Ryan Ayers at Notre Dame. It's you just shake your head like what the heck's going on in your mind? And you know, for professional athletes, let's be honest, Joy, this is something you guys in this day and age of Instagram and texts and cameras, and everybody's got a camera on them. More than ever, you guys have to watch what you do, how you do it, and most importantly, who's watching.
Yeah, and who you're watching.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good. You see what he did there? He's a pro, man. All right, take a quick break. We'll come back. Baligian and Bell on a Thursday afternoon.
Welcome to Grow Green, the green standard for garden supplies here in Michigan over the past 10 years. We offer the best gardening and lawn care products and have an extremely knowledgeable staff to help you create your dream garden or make your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Shop the store located in Whitmore Lake or online at growgreenmi.com. Delivery and curbside pickup available. Grow Green, making Michigan greener one grower at a time.
We wake up every day with a choice. Keep going down the same unfulfilling path or start chasing the life we dream about. At Northwestern Tech, we want to make that choice easier by allowing you to keep working your job while training for a real career in heating and cooling. And our hands-on program is only 10.5 months. So getting in the field and building a career and actually waking up with a purpose could be a lot easier than you think. Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
All right, welcome back in. Glad you can join us, Baligian and Bell, on a Thursday morning here on the Woodward Sports Network. Before we move on, a couple comments on here. Is U of M allowed to win? Last I knew, the Wolves paid their players 20 years ago. Mason said, I feel like Michigan can stay on a roll until we face a team like Iowa and Ohio State. I agree with you, Joyce. The one thing that always cracks me up, and sometimes it's from Michigan fans, sometimes it's from Michigan State fans, sometimes it's from Iowa or Wisconsin or Illinois, but these people that play this game of, we're going to dominate the Big Ten, we're the best team in the Big Ten. There's a reason you don't go unbeaten in conference, man. There's college basketball is a different thing. As a guy that had the opportunity to call college basketball games, not only at the D2 level, at the D1 level, the one thing that you can't put a price tag on, and this is one man's humble opinion, I think the biggest home, quote-unquote, advantage is a college basketball game. Because you have all those people on top of you. It is really a difficult thing to do. So when you talk about home field, home court, home ice advantage, I watched teams look totally different that come into, you know, whether it be when I was doing the MAC or even the GLIAC. There's something about going on the road and having those fans on top of you, man. Yeah. There's a reason why teams don't go unbeaten in conference.
Yeah, that's true, right? And when you play in those type of games, those are some of the most intense games you'll play in, especially when you're playing a rivalry or if you're playing a game that means something. And people are asking me, what's the most intense game I ever played in, right? It's not even – I played in some intense games, but as far as feeling the energy of the crowd, aside from the NFL, was probably be not even college. It was high school basketball. It was 2004. We were playing Magic Johnson High School, Les Everett. This is when they had. You remember Sutan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're playing against Sutan the year that they end up winning it. So we're playing them in the regional championship game. And so they have Sutan. They had a point guard by the name of Clyde McKinney. And they had a couple good. They had a good team. This was probably one of the most intense games I've ever played in. Tom Izzo was at the game. And that game went into overtime. We ended up losing that game at a buzzer beater, about to go into a second overtime. They shot a three from almost from half court, and the guy knocked it down. I caught the ball out of the net and tried to call a timeout, but the refs were like, no, it's over. I mean, it was the most intense. And when I tell you that we actually played it at the, I think, Eastern Michigan Fieldhouse, or no, it might have been, I think it was at Eastern Michigan Fieldhouse. So
The Convocation Center.
Yeah, so it went all the way. So from the bleachers like up to the ceiling, that's where the bleachers went. So we had about, in that arena, we probably had close to 8,000 to 10,000 people in
They're
there.
on top of you, too.
And when I say the entire game, nobody sat down. Nobody.
That's cool.
From the stands, I mean, from the floor all the way up to the top, they were standing up the entire game. We were losing 17-8 to start the game. We had to call a timeout. We got it together. We came back. We got the lead. They got the lead. I remember Sutan came down and he dunked one heavy. So you guys don't know, Sutan was like a 6'10", 7-foot center, and he came down. He dunked it hard. And I said, I grabbed it. No hesitation. The ball never touched the ground. I grabbed the ball out the net. I threw it down to Wilson Chandler on a fast break. He catches it. He dunks it on the other end. Then our whole side goes crazy. I mean, it was one of the most intense games, and that's one game I wish I can get back.
Oh.
That's one of those games, and I'm telling you, those basketball games in those arenas when you can feel the energy on top of you,
Yep.
it means a lot.
Heck
it means a
yeah.
lot, and it affects the game. And I don't know how much of that is affecting U of M and their opponents, but I know right now Michigan's playing at a high level.
Yeah, it's different this year. As a couple people pointed out, there are no fans this year. I think every year, and I've had this conversation with fellow Michigan State fans. Dude, Michigan State is far and away the best team in the Big Ten. And I'm like, I'll bet you anything you want they don't go unbeaten. What do you want to bet?
Who, Michigan?
Yeah, no, Michigan or Michigan State. There's a reason why teams don't go unbeaten. I mean, you haven't had, from a national championship standpoint, okay? The last team that went unbeaten was 1976 Indiana. It doesn't work that way. Everybody, no matter how good you are, it's like you said, Joy, you go on the road, another team has that circle around you. It's different on the road. Now, this year's different without the fans on top of you. There's no doubt about that. But I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation. Look, Michigan State or Michigan might be the best team in the Big Ten. Right now, I think Michigan is the best team in the Big Ten. Yeah. But, man, it is so much easier said than done to blow through your conference schedule unbeaten and then, oh, by the way, go through the gauntlet that is the Big Ten tournament. It just, man, every year people talk this up, and it's like, look, they might win it all. But it is difficult to go unbeaten in college basketball, man. No two ways about it.
You know what, though? You go into the season, and some teams you make team goals, right? You make team goals. And one of our team goals was, and this is in New Orleans, and as I learned this in New Orleans, we'll have a team meeting, and we'll say, listen, and in Detroit too, we say, listen, we're not losing any home games. This is, as a team, we're not losing any game that's here, that's being played here in our house, we're gonna win. No one's gonna come in our house, take our remote control, kick the feet back on the recliner, and then change the channel we watch it. Nobody's gonna come in here and do it.
Pizza on top of my lap too?
Huh? Pizza.
That sounds very inviting.
And a nice brew on the side.
I'll bring you a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
All right.
Bring me a cheese piece.
All right.
And we made that path, I think, in 2014, right? I don't know if we lost any home games that year, right? We did something similar when I was in New Orleans in 2011. And I think Michigan has a team to where I don't know how their leadership is on the team, but I know these are meetings that we had as a team. No coaches, just as players. It was a players meeting.
I love hearing that.
Right. And so if they set a certain goal for themselves, I'm saying they want to go undefeated, right? But the main goal is to make sure we don't lose a game at home right? We don't lose any games at home, and then we go on the road and we're just taking one game at a time. I think they have a good shot, but they have to continue to play at this level every single game, week in, week out. Let's see how it goes. I'm intrigued right now.
It's funny to hear you say that about a player's perspective, because now here's a chance for you to listen to a guy like me, and I know a lot of guys in the media think this going to the NFL world. My mindset has always been, Joik, and you tell me if this logic is good. I've always thought in the NFL, if you go 6-2 at home, and just 500 on the road, you're a playoff team. That's always been my mindset. If you're 10-6 is going to get you in the playoffs 99 times out of 100. But my mindset, again, as a media member, I know you guys want to take care of your house. You don't want anybody on your couch, your recliner, all that stuff. As a guy that's followed this, I've always thought to myself, if the Lions can find a way to really make Ford Field a home field advantage, go 6-2, and then if you go 500, hell, you can mess around and go 3-5 on the road and still potentially get in the playoffs. That's kind of what I've found in the NFL. You know, I mean, but you're right. It all starts. You have to take care of business at home.
That's based on your division.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Redskins. It's based on your division. You know what though? But their defense.
They have
is
nothing
actually,
to complain about.
Right.
No, that's exactly.
Their defense is playing well.
And you know what? Like Coach Rivera said, and we'll talk in great detail about the playoff games tomorrow. Coach Rivera, the one thing that he said this week, and you have to give him his props for it. He said, "Man, everybody's talking about our record, but our record is in 7-9 with Alex Smith at the helm. All right, Dwayne Haskins is no longer our quarterback. Dwayne Haskins was in for a lot of those L's. They've been a different team since Alex Smith came in, and they were able to pick up their season as such and find a way to get in the playoffs. That's got to be the spin.
It is a spin. I know you always talk about this is turning into an offensive game, right?
Yeah.
Not with Washington. It hasn't been an offensive game for them the entire year. But defensively, I think they're top 5 defenses in the league.
Chase.
They're playing playoffs type football on their defense, and if they can get their offense to come around with Alex Smith back, they might have an opportunity to do something. I don't think they can. I don't think they'll go far in the playoffs, but I think they can play well enough to make it a good game and build on for next year. So I guess we sit back and watch now.
Let me ask you something before we switch to what's going down at Notre Dame with former men's basketball assistant coach Ryan Ayers. Chase Young, in his own way, kind of called out Tom Brady. And, I'm sure you heard it. Coach Arian said, be careful what you wish for, was kind of the approach. Are you for and against that? Because in some ways – I kind of like the enthusiasm. I like the confidence and everything. But is that a just shut your mouth type of situation? Does that stuff ever bother you? Do you ever hear any of that outside noise?
I like it.
Yeah?
I don't. It's never outside noise when it's coming from the media. But when it's a player that you're playing against, it's a complete, I'm calling you out. And so, as a player, we're playing against you. We have to see you, so we're going to accept that challenge, right? We're going to accept that challenge. I remember when we're about to play the Seahawks, and then
2016.
Nope.
The playoffs?
Nope.
The playoff game? Okay, my bad.
I think this might have been 2012.
Okay.
When a particular cornerback, Richard Sherman,
familiar,
changes his Twitter profile from his picture to Optimus Prime because he had to guard Megatron. That was a complete shot at Calvin, right? And Calvin's just such a nice guy. The media comes to him. Well, how do you feel about Richard Sherman changing his Twitter profile picture to Optimus Prime? How do you feel about that, Megatron? I mean, that's what he wants to do. I mean, that's his Twitter. He can. That's his Twitter. That's what he wants to do. He can. I don't mind it. Kelvin's just that nice guy, and he's like that silent assassin, right? He's that silent assassin, and you're like I like that type of banter back and forth between players. I don't mind it at all.
Your Calvin imitation, dude. Literally, it dropped me to a knee. That's Calvin Johnson. If you've ever seen a Calvin interview, that's Calvin Johnson. Dude, that is epic.
Yeah, Jenna, like me and Art.
All right, so in case you missed it, former Notre Dame men's basketball assistant coach Ryan Ayers charged with 3 counts of voyeurism, also 1 count of domestic abuse. This is relationships with 2 women over a 4-year span where not only did he allegedly record them without their consent, whether it be in the shower, laying naked on the bed, or during, again, it's being alleged, sexual activities. He's also said to have hit one of the women in the face during an incident in his car. So you have all of this, and then you have one of the ladies alleging Joy Key then sent a lot of these videos and pictures to some of his boys. And it's just like, dude, what's good? You can't hide stuff like that today. You can't. I mean, it's just...
Once it's on your phone, and once you send it out, it's out. It's out. Even when, so I have a neighbor who's a lawyer, right? And she has to go and she has to do these certain cases. And when we speak, she say like people think that even when you delete your things on social media that they can't be found. Everything on your social media can be found, from even if you deleted it. Even if it goes in your Snapchat, you watch it and it disappears, it's still there. You just can't see it. They can get a judgment where they can go and pull up every text, every Instagram DM, every Snapchat, every Twitter, anything that you, Tinder, Bumble, like all these sites. They can go in there and find all of those things and bring it up in a court of law. And so you have to be mindful of those type of things. You have to be mindful of make sure you're having consent. And there's nothing wrong with getting consent. And I think I had a teammate who kind of spoke on this about people feeling like it's not, we're trained as men not to get consent. Like growing up, like it makes you more of a man the more women you have. And that's not, I heard this saying, like it doesn't take, a real man isn't a person that have multiple women. Like a real man is a person that can love just one woman. And so at the same time, I don't know what's going on with that case. I don't know what's going on in this household. I'm not a judge. I don't judge him. I don't judge the women that he was with. We let it play out in court, and that's his life. And at the end of the day, how can I tell another man how to live his life? Yeah. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But understand, all right? But understand, I tell my son this all the time, every action has a consequence. Every action has a consequence, whether it's good or bad. Consequence doesn't always have to be terrible. If you want to be a football player and you go to the gym every day, you're on the field doing footwork, you're watching film, you're practicing your craft, the consequence of that is one day you'll probably be a very good football player. Now, if you're living in the dark, you're doing certain things, it's gonna come to light.
Here's I can't tell you how, like, the fact that you give that message to your kids, I can't tell you how many times I've had a variation of that conversation. I always say to my kids, you're old enough to make your choices, but you have to understand you can't sit back and go, well, it's a free country, I can do what I want. Yeah, no. It is, but it's not freedom of consequence.
Not freedom of consequence.
And I say that to
freedom
my
of
kids
speech does not mean freedom of consequence.
Bam, you got it.
So if you can deal with the consequences, just say what you want to say.
Yep.
But people have lost their jobs over what people have lost their job in media of what they say on air.
You got it.
All right. So freedom.
A situation like this, though, Joy, and this is where this is going to turn into a he said, she said. Let's be perfectly blunt, the reason why this is in the news cycle now is because it's salacious. Salacious sells. That's just the way it is. If this is true, I agree with Jenna. People that do that, it's disgusting. Lock his ass up. This is disgusting stuff if he didn't get, consent to take these pictures. And furthermore, Joy, you know as well as I do, I think there's the boy that I got to show this to my boys kind of aspect of this. Who thinks it's a good idea to do something like that? Here's a video made. I'm going to show it with my boys. That stuff's going to get out. Especially, like, if a woman's saying, whoa, time out. I didn't even know you took this video. I didn't even know you took this picture. Like, what? I got to show it to the boys. What do you think's going to happen? Word's going to get out, man. What are you doing?
Hey, what they say, it's never a secret what two people know.
No. It's exactly it. It's exactly it. You know, it's such an interesting time because, Joik, you don't know what it's like to be, I guess, in the spotlight, to be a public figure in the time where this stuff wasn't alive. But I remember talking to a couple guys, and, you know, I've never talked to McCarty about this. Maybe this is something I could talk to Darren about, but Darren played in two eras. Darren played in the era where there weren't the video phones. There weren't the, you know, things like that. And then he played in an era where everywhere they went, somebody's got a camera out. Everywhere. I mean, Joik, that's got to be the same for you. You guys go out one night, you know, season's over or whatever, and word gets about, hey, you know who's in the house tonight? Joik Bell and Bill Bentley, or whoever the case may be. People are going to start pulling their phones out. I mean, it's like for you guys just have to be cognizant of that.
We have to be. You have to be. So there's going to be times where you want to go out, you want to enjoy yourself, and you're going to have people with you, right? You're going to have your boys with you, and you understand, and not only that, but you also have to be aware of, like, your surroundings, right? You have to be aware of, like, where you are, the places you are, the type of people that are in there. You always have to have your head on the swivel, right? And you have people that are with you need to have that same type of urgency you have when it comes to, or that same awareness you have when it comes to your whereabouts because of who you are. And when you are a public figure, you have like this big thing on your back and it looks like a target, you know? And I'm basically saying you're a target, right?
You are.
So, right, you're a target.
100%
right.
You are.
And so, and this is what I'm telling you about how media kind of builds you up, and the moment that you make that one mistake, I heard this saying, that you step on a whole, like one, oh shit, will wipe out a whole lot of attaboys, all right? And so for people who don't know what that means, basically, this fight only takes 3 seconds to rewrite everything positive that you've done.
You got it.
If I go out and I murdered a guy, it doesn't matter what I did with the march. It doesn't matter what I did on the football field. It doesn't matter what I did with my nonprofit. It doesn't matter. None of that matters anymore. They're only going to focus on, oh, he did this. He's a bad guy. And sometimes that might be the case, and sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes you might be caught up in a situation to where, but that's the way the world works. Right? Something bad happens, and then now you're labeled for life, right? Off that one thing, but you did another 1,000 positive things, but only this one thing matters. And it's just the way the world works, and it's sad, and, you know, and it's messed up. But that's why, as public figures, we have to watch who we're around, watch the people that we bring around. You gotta be very cognizant of who you let into your home, because if you post a picture of you in Hawaii, they know you're not home. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, like, being a public figure is tough, but hey, it comes with the territory.
You know what's funny? I got to ask you this before we take a quick break. Have you ever been to a shindig with teammates, even a group of friends? The put your phone in the basket, leave your phone here before you enter. Have you ever been in a scenario? Because
yes, I have.
Yeah.
I
was invited to a party like that.
But it's not. So we won't take your phones, right?
Yeah.
So we have certain things like a good friend of mine who owns a restaurant here. It's called Cash Only. Well, basically, when you come in, they do no marketing for it, but it's like more so if you know about it, you know about it, so
Sure.
you can come. And so when you go in, they don't take your phone, but you get a pouch for your phone. Your phone goes in there, and they lock the pouch.
Yep.
So if the phone rings, you can always step out and use your phone.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like we're taking your phone, and they're keeping your house just like at a venue. And so you can keep your phone with you. You want to use your phone because you have a lot of public figures in there who don't want to have their pictures taken. And even if you're being innocent, you're just taking a selfie of yourself, somebody might be behind you that don't want to be on camera. And so if you want to respect people's privacy, then come. But if you don't, then you don't have to come. It's totally your choice.
Yeah.
right? And so I remember I took my cousin to this spot for her birthday last year, and I had never been before. I'd never been. I always heard about it, but I just never went. So I went this particular time, and that was the most fun I've had, right? The most fun I've had. And mind you, I don't smoke or drink, none of that, but it was the most fun I had, just listen to music, good vibe. And it also takes people focus off of always wanted to take pictures and videos and make them engage into conversations with other people. And so it was probably the most fun I had since probably college.
You know, and I want to be crystal clear, just because I feel guilty about it. Like this party that I was at, there was nothing nefarious going on.
No, it's nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't. You know, there weren't women.
No, it's basically it's a
people
club.
wanted to chill out.
It's
People
a club.
wanted to chill out. Yep.
It's a club with no phones, and it's real intimate. And the club is no bigger than probably our lobby area right here, right? Probably 2.5 times bigger than this room, and it's very intimate. It's very small. You can speak. Great music, great people, and you sit back and you relax, and you don't have to worry about, he was in a club doing this, and no, it's none of that. So I loved it. Most fun I've had. I only been once, and then the pandemic came in afterwards, and so that was like last year February, and then the pandemic kicked in March, and so we haven't been back. But hey, some of the best time I had in my life.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting, and I think this is, I don't blame you guys, professional athletes, for keeping people at arm's length, especially the media, because, I mean, let's be perfectly blunt about it. More often than not, people always want something from you. They always want something from you. And I've always been the person, and I think it's been our relationship, and I'm never going to ask you for a damn thing. Mm-hmm. I'm never. You're never. Hey, Joy, can you? I don't want a picture with you. None of that. I mean, if somebody takes a picture of us together, like Kennedy, you took pictures during the break, but I'm not going to go, here's my buddy Joyke and I, and hang it up on. No, I mean, you're just a regular dude.
Just a regular guy.
Yeah, and that's so I don't.
And no, it's funny.
You guys keeping people at arm's length. I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though. I think I told you this story before. I don't think I said it on the show though.
Okay.
But my sister, her husband was an FBI agent, ended up passing. He died on duty in 2008. She ended up moving to Houston in 2012 with my niece. My niece was young. Moved to Houston with her and my nephew, and they ended up moving back last year summer. And so I would bring them over to the house. We'll have barbecues. We'll chill. I'll go to their house. We're playing volleyball in the backyard, and I'm just kicking it with my niece and nephew. And now my niece is 13 now. She just turned 13. And so in December, I guess she went to my sister and said, Mom, did you know that Uncle Drake was like a famous football player? Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
She said, no. And so my sister said, like, yes, I said, like, I knew that. But she said, but he's just Uncle Drake to me. He just seems like a regular guy. I tell her, like, no, I'm just a regular guy. I'm just your Uncle Drake. Well, he just comes over and we just eat, and that's what it is. I'm a regular person.
They even eat.
We eat. We go in the backyard. We play volleyball, and they'll take my nephew in the front yard. We play basketball with him and my son, and we're normal people.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works.
Yeah,
out, isn't it?
It works like that when you're at home.
Yeah.
That's that unconditional love that, regardless of what you do, we're gonna love you. And kids usually have that, right? The world hasn't gotten to them yet.
No, you're right.
And that's kind of what it is.
Now, you know what's funny? I have to tell this story quickly before we take a break and move on to some other stuff. So McCarty came over my house back in October, right? And it was kind of funny because, again, you guys are from a different world, and you're used to people coming up to you. And so I'll do this when the weather warms up and we can do it. Art, Kennedy, everybody, you guys can come over. My boys and I, we threw a big barbecue. We threw it, this is when they said, okay, you can now have gatherings of, I forget, 50 or whatever the hell it was.
Right.
So one college football Saturday, I just invited a bunch of my friends over and said, come on over, I'm going to cook for you today. What do you mean? I'm going to cook for you today. Do I need to bring anything? No. I'm going to cook for you. Like, we've all been locked up. Let's go. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to come. But we can social. And it was funny, like, Matt came over and he was there for like 15 minutes. And Mac, if you're watching, I appreciated this. He walked up to me. He goes, bro, this is great. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, there's like a cool vibe here. I go, you mean like we're all humans? Like, I mean, I don't blame you guys. Nobody was coming up to him saying, hey, Darren, can I get a picture?
Right.
Hey, tell me about this. It was just like, hey, man, how do you like that brisket? How do you like those wings? And like, to me, that's it. And I tell all my friends all the time, and I'll say it when you're there. I go, dude, Joik is a friend. He's a human being. He's one of us. Let's just chill and have some barbecue. And that's the way it should be.
Whole vibes.
Yep, that's exactly
Whole vibes.
All right, listen, going to take a quick break. When we come back, are they going to move the national championship game? For now, the answer is no. We'll get into some of that when we come back. He's Joik Bell. I'm Sean Baligian, Woodward Sports.
We wake up every day with a choice. Keep going down the same unfulfilling path or start chasing the life we dream about. At Northwestern Tech, we want to make that choice easier by allowing you to keep working your job while training for a real career in heating and cooling. And our hands-on program is only 10.5 months. So getting in the field and building a career and actually waking up with a purpose could be a lot easier than you think. Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
Welcome to Grow Green, the green standard for garden supplies here in Michigan over the past 10 years. We offer the best gardening and lawn care products and have an extremely knowledgeable staff to help you create your dream garden or make your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Shop the store located in Whitmore Lake or online at growgreenmi.com. Delivery and curbside pickup available. Grow Green, making Michigan greener one grower at a time.
All right, so welcome back. Some funny comments. Kenny said, I'm just a regular guy. I just happen to be really good at football. I think that's right? I want to be really good at one thing one day. I'm building to that barbecue thing. One day, I just want somebody to go, there goes Sean Baligian. He's very good at that barbecue thing. Jenna said, you're all welcome over to my place anytime. Once COVID chills out. All right, deal.
All right.
Yeah, that's the way
That's
I am.
fair.
It's like, I don't, dude, come over.
Come vibe.
Right?
Catch a
Let's
vibe.
just have a good time.
And so I remember when I first moved into my spot, so we will always have a barbecue, like be me, my best friend, my family, all like my close friends from like Wayne State, like basketball players that was on the team when I was there that we ended up building a bond. We'll all come over, have the barbecue, and it's it's a kickback. We might have like the Super Bowl party there. Where I had a chef come over, cook. We watched the game in the theater, and we just catch a whole. It's the vibe. It's relaxing. Play pool, play ping pong. We still had to get that game on, and I'm still waiting for Sticks to get the ping pong table in here.
Right there, I want it.
I'm
right
still
there.
waiting.
No, I'm with
still
you.
waiting.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Maybe we can go upstairs and see if we can find one up there. Let's look for one upstairs.
Yeah, they got one. They got one in the penthouse.
Oh, do they?
They got one
I
in the
haven't seen it
penthouse.
yet. I haven't been
You haven't
invited.
seen it?
I haven't been invited to the
We gotta
penthouse
go.
yet.
Oh, we gotta go.
All right.
We having poker.
Sneak me up there
We
today.
might have poker night tonight.
Oh, really?
Can I come to poker night?
No,
I see. You know what?
it's for talent only. All right, so
Thank you.
The best thing. I don't even think the question was out
No.
before no.
No,
He was tailing off and no came flying.
Okay, so there's a clip of a guy sitting down at a table, and it's a voice that comes over like the PA said, you have two options. A, you're like, A, quarantine with your wife and family, or B, and the guy says B. B. Well, he don't even know what it is. It's just B.
You know what's funny? Gosh, my family's gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This
Now,
is
let me ask you this question. Sean.
Yeah.
You got two options. A, chilling quarantine with your wife and kids.
B.
Or B.
No, listen. I'll, like everybody else. When this all started, I don't know how it went in your family. We all got on each other's nerves. We did. Like my son isn't used. I mean, he's used to living in Chicago. My daughter misses school. We all got on each other's nerves. It took I'd say about 10 days. And it was funny because I called a family meeting, and this true story, this is what really happened. And we were all in the front room, and it was funny because even as we sat in the front room, you could kind of see I can't believe I'm stuck in the room with them and everything. And I literally said, okay, I don't play the head of the household game, but right now I'm going to play the head of the household. I'm going to play that game. True story, Joik. I said, we have one of two choices moving forward. I don't know how long this is going to last. We can make this the most miserable experience we've ever had in our life, or we can find a way to have some fun with everything and not get pissed at each other.
All right.
Like, what's it going to be? And it was funny because, honest to God, it was like the light bulb went on for everybody. And they were like, let's chill the hell out. And we had a wonderful time. Yeah, I'm not joking. We had
Tell me something. What type of family games did y'all do to get through?
We did so many stupid little things. There's something called Jackbox TV. Are you familiar with Jackbox TV?
No.
Yes. We got completely addicted to playing this Jackbox game. And we would have what we would call, sorry again, I'm narking on my family, inappropriate Jackbox like matches.
Is it kind of like that scene off of the Campaign when they were sitting at the kitchen table?
It's a console game too. You could play it on the console, and there's different games.
No, he just said inappropriate things. So you ever seen the movie Campaign where the kids sit around the table and the wife and the dad?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, all right,
okay. Then we started having fun at each other's expense. Nothing nasty,
right.
But we started having fun, and I think they love getting on me.
Yeah.
And I just giggle. I think it's the funniest damn
You know what,
thing I've
Sean? You're a great guy, but you're an easy target.
Oh, of course. Look at me. I walk through life every day like this.
Everyone's
honestly,
an easy target for
you're
joke,
like the
though.
second. You're like the second. Like in here, you're the second. It's Art, and then it's you, and then. What?
I get first place for something. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, first
I'll
place.
take the silver.
Yeah.
But no, and then we started watching all the dumb shows on Netflix. We just we watched that Tiger King debacle like everybody else. And then we just started blowing through all right, let's watch The Office. So we watched The Office.
I'm going to tell you now. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but this would be, and please, and let me know if I'm wrong. And if you guys haven't watched it yet, you can't comment on it, but if you have watched it and you watched it all the way through, or you got past the first season, let me know. But the best show of our generation, of our time that I've ever been a part of, and I've seen some great TV shows, but I don't think any TV show will ever compare to Game of Thrones. I don't see it. Have you seen Game of Thrones, Art?
No, you're gonna hate me even more. I can't get past the accents. I can't like and I've watched great shows. Ozark, Breaking Bad.
I really didn't like it.
Hold up? And I'm gonna ask you this question.
All right.
Because I agree with you. The first time I watched it, I got to the first 2 episodes, and I never watched it again. Right? I never watched it again until a guy asked me again that put me on the show. He said, "Did you watch it?" I said, "I couldn't get past the first 2 episodes."
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah." He said, "Actually, the first 4 episodes is gonna be hard to get through, but once you get through those, because they're introducing everyone, you'll be locked in." So I forced myself through 3 or 4 episodes, right? And then once I got to the 5th or 6th, I was hooked. It was going into the 6th season. I started Monday. I was all caught up by Saturday.
What?
I was all caught up by Saturday. When I tell you 10 hours a day, it was off season. I had nothing to do.
Aren't the episodes an hour long?
50, 55 to 60
He knows
minutes.
the exact time.
It's anywhere between
Some of those
50 to
HBO
60 minutes
shows.
every episode.
I was that way about Sopranos. I was that consumed my life. When Sopranos was on HBO, I don't know if you guys ever watched that back then. It absolutely. The only show like that for me right now. I never watched 30 Rock. I watched 30 Rock during the whatever pandemic.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm not.
Do you
gonna
feel
lie.
like there's nothing to do after? Your life is a void
Yes.
for a minute? When I finished Ozark or Breaking Bad, I'm what do I do now? It sucks. You never want it to end.
Ozark, but Ozark's my number 2.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Peaky Blinders is. I'm so addicted to when when I binge watched the whole last season, and I just like you talked about. I literally it wasn't. I'm going to do this over the next few days. No, it was. I know what I'm doing for the next 12 hours. Watching the show Peaky Blinders, when it ended, I was like, how long do I have to wait for the new season? I mean, it hurts. It hurts you,
It does. It does.
So really, you're a
Game
big
of Thrones
fan?
Game of Thrones.
Maybe I have to try it.
No show out is better than that show. It has everything in there. It has everything in there. It's no show out better.
So where are you at Are you finished with it?
Yes, I will probably watch the entire.
Oh,
every season probably Like, I went through the whole from like season 1 all the way through like you can say season 8 or you can say season second part of 7, because what they did was every season is 10 episodes, and when they got to the 7th season, they split it up to where they did like 7 the first season, and then the second part of the 7th season they did 8 episodes. And so it just depends.
Would you ever watch it again? Like maybe I could come over, we could watch it together, like as friends, hang out in the theater.
You will never be invited over because I don't even think you get tested. So you can't come over.
Okay. All right. Well, just think about it. Give it some time,
But watch it and let me know what you think about it, because I mean he's too thirsty, man. He gotta relax.
You say it so as a matter. You will never be invited over. And Art goes, well, just think about it.
Did we get his face on it?
Yeah, it's so good.
You know what, man? If you beat me a plunder,
I could wear your shoes for one day. I'm sick of me trying to kiss you. You know what? No, you work to become my friend. Okay, that's how this works. You could watch Game of Thrones with me in my trailer. That's what we can do. Okay. I'm making the rules.
You know what, man? I feel sorry for you, so yeah, you can come over, man.
See, that easy.
I feel sorry for you. You can
Grammy
come over.
Whammy's watching right now, Joy. Don't forget that.
Yeah, you can come over to probably one of my Airbnbs. We can chill over there. You can't know.
What's an Airbnb?
Huh?
Nothing. Never mind.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Lynn said we love art. We love you, Art. Yeah, I'm glad somebody does.
You know what? Steve said Game of Thrones the last 2 years stunk. I heard a lot of people say that something happened.
No. So it didn't. The episodes didn't stink. What happened was the ending really stunk. It was it's just nothing ended the way that we expected it to end, which has been Game of Thrones the entire time.
Sure.
I was disappointed in the ending as well. Right. One of the people that we think should have had it didn't get it. Right. And then just the ending of the people that was our hero was just like, that's their ending? They end that way? A life so promising, this is how that life is going to end. And so for me, I didn't like it from that aspect.
Sure.
Right? I didn't like it. But as far as the episodes were good. They were intense. They had one episode where the whole episode was a battle. For a whole hour, it was a battle. It was all action. And so for me, I love the show. So Jon Snow was my guy. Arya was a hero to me. She was a grinder. But I love Jon Snow's story because he got it out the mud.
You know, as I'm looking at you right now and I can't unsee this, there's a devil on one shoulder right now, whispering in your ear, be mean to Art. Art deserves every bit of it.
Yeah.
And then there's Grammy Whammy on the other shoulder, whispering in your ear.
No, she's on Facebook.
Joik Bell, you better be nice to that young man. And so
Look, she said, yes, I am. Look, Grammy Whammy said, yes, I am.
Grammy Whammy's watching, Joik.
Yeah. My sister just chimed in, too. What's up, Amby? Yeah.
Jeff said Breaking Bad, The Shield, and Justified. I heard great things about Justified.
I heard some good things about Shield.
Yeah. So that just a long-winded way to answer it. Yeah, we just watched a lot of shows and I'm
gonna do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll, right? I'm gonna do a poll on my Instagram.
Okay.
And you guys give me your favorite show. I'm gonna put it up against Game of Thrones. I'm gonna see which one has the bigger polls, and we can bring it in probably tomorrow.
All right.
Next break, I'm gonna do that. Next break.
Peaky Blinders.
So
Love it.
All right, pick your movie. What movie would you put up against Game of Thrones?
What movie or show?
I'm sorry. What show?
Okay. Mine would probably be Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Can you do a little side by side?
Oh, we're
Breaking
gonna get
Bad
crushed.
Game of Thrones?
You know that. Well, no, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad was
people
iconic.
Love Breaking Bad. Yeah, people love. Mine is
people
like
love
kind
Breaking
of.
Bad.
It's
We'll
not
see.
as known. Peaky Blinders.
But I think you should go with Sopranos. I really think that.
Okay.
But that might be your best option.
All right.
Yeah,
Sopranos.
that would be a better
Sounds
pick.
good.
I would think.
Sopranos or Ozark? I'll go with Sopranos. Yeah.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
go Sopranos.
definitely. I mean, Ozark was legendary.
Ozark's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't wait.
Have you watched Ozark yet, Joey?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
What's
all right,
about?
do it.
What's it about?
It's too long of a story to explain.
just-
Just give
Money
me a quick-
laundering, extortion. It's a lot. It's just,
Mob,
yeah.
trash. I no other way to say it. It's
Baligian, did you think Ozark was better than Breaking Bad? Because I would say Ozark was better.
Yes.
But I understand the appeal to Breaking Bad, so that will get more votes to beat
without
out Game
giving
of Thrones.
the last episode the way
I
it
don't
ended.
care. I don't care who. Breaking Bad.
I'm not going to give anything. The last episode and the way it ended was so
And it's not over yet.
mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what I did there?
Hey-o.
It literally, Joik, it was one of those, you did not.
On Breaking Bad?
Yeah, on Ozark. You did not see it coming. Like, there's no possible way if you followed that show, you could see what happened in that moment.
Were you happy with it?
Yes.
It's not over yet. They're going into
Yeah, they
season
have
4
one
still.
more double
But I'm
season.
telling you, if you get some time, watch that. It's to me,
How many
it's better
episodes
than
per
Breaking
season?
Bad. They have 3 seasons.
How many episodes per season?
10?
8 to 10.
Yeah, I don't remember.
8 to 10.
All right, he asked, were you happy with the way the last season ended?
I did
was.
because it left me wanting more.
Yes.
It's like the start of a new
Yes.
season, and I felt like with that show, there was build-ups and then down and then build-up, but that was like, whoa, now the second it comes out, I don't care if it comes out at 4 a.m, I'm watching it. Like,
Joik, it was one, again, I'm not giving anything away.
No.
It was so wonderfully written because one thing you didn't see happened, and then it happened in a way that you never could have, you like if I told you it was going to happen, you could have never envisioned this scenario. Like there's no way, the first thing you do is go, nah, that's not going to happen. But then it'd be like, the way it happened, you were like, and it was like one of the, because like, Art, I don't know about you, that's when I watch it, I just kind of went at the TV screen for a couple minutes.
I like shows that are so in depth in storytelling and great character detail, but also are somewhat believable. And with Ozark, it's crazy enough that it's believable. Like
Yes.
you watch Sons of Anarchy, you know that motorcycle clubs aren't really like that.
Yeah.
But you watch something like Breaking Bad or Ozark, and you can follow these stories and these character developments, and you fall in love with these characters. And then something happens, and it's like, I need season 4 right now. Like right now, like I'll pay for it. Like I'll fund it.
So for me, what I would do was, when Game of Thrones came out, like when it came out, I would shut down my social media from like really going on there every single day, and I would let like weeks go by without watching any episodes, and I'll try to binge like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Every time an episode ends, I have to see the next episode, and so I would just sit back, and sometimes I would let a whole season go by, and I'll binge and I'll watch the entire thing at one time. I'm like, wow.
What do you think makes Game of Thrones so special? Because if you could get
Everything.
past the accents, what would you tell like someone like me that I can't? The accents
Everything
throw
that
me
you
off.
guys said, everything you guys said about the storytelling, the characters, the families, the storyline, where they came from, how they got started, were they born into royalty, or did they have to fight their claim to get it back, or did their family once have it and then lose it, and now you're the rightful king, but now you're nothing, so you have to fight your way back up? Or are you a bastard child? Are you? So it's so much stuff. I mean,
There's so many webs to the
sex
story.
to action, to drama, to love scene. It has everything you need in there for everyone. Even like women empowerment, when they have like one of the fiercest people on the show. Actually, 2 of them are actually women. All right, like the straight killers, all right, and they're women. And I don't want to give their name, but like one person wasn't a killer and then turned into one. Another one was just a killer from day one, you know.
But you said
So-
the first 4 episodes. Once you get past those, it's smooth
You
sailing.
have to get past the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay.
And for me, I would say the first 2 or 3, because it's introducing all the different family lines. It's introducing the characters. You know where they come from. You kind of know which families they're with, right? And
Okay.
so these people are like key people, and there's a handful of people that's going to be on the first episode that's all the way through the end, and there's going to be people that you fall in love with on the first season.
Yeah.
That get killed. And
I think that's what makes a great show in general. I mean, you and I were talking about Ozark, and it's very similar in that sense, to where like they make you either love this person or hate them. But what I like about shows is when it's a spider web. So you have the main plot, but then you have all these different stories to keep up with. I love that.
It's a tree with a bunch of different branches.
All right, so I have to give you some love. This is what Kennedy just did. By the way, Jeff said Cobra Kai never. Have you guys watched Cobra Kai? Unbelievable. You don't like it? Do you know what it is? To a child from the 80s, there are so many throwbacks to, like, it's unbelievable.
I've never watched Karate
harkens
Kid.
to my youth is what that show does.
I never seen.
I
Youth.
I loved Karate Kid, but my boyfriend watches that show, and it makes me like cringe. It's so cringy and bad.
So Kennedy, this is and this is for people out there. These are all our shows. So I'm guessing, Kennedy, I can deduce that The Bachelorette was your choice. Kennedy said the best show, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, or The Bachelorette. Early polling results are in. 46% Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
32% Sopranos. 19% Game of Thrones. 3% The Bachelorette. And somebody said The Wire.
Ooh, now The Wire.
The Wire?
The Wire's
what
up
we're doing is
there.
we're just
The Wire's
talking
up there.
about our
It's
shows
different.
that came up. These are our shows. If you had to pick one, and these are the shows that we took.
Ring a bell.
Breaking
there you
Bad's in
go.
the lead right now with 46%. Game of Thrones has what, 16%?
How many votes we have? Like what? 5?
Yeah, so get on. It's
52 at the last time last check.
52 votes.
52 at last check.
Hold on, I don't even see it. Where is it?
It's on our Twitter.
Yeah, Baligian's
Okay.
It's on our Twitter.
Okay.
So 44% for Breaking Bad. It just updated. 44 for Breaking Bad. 38 for Sopranos. 15 for Game of Thrones, and 3%.
You know what I have a big problem with? I'll be honest. My ADD in me, it's so hard for me to start a new show because it's like, it's hard to get sucked into something and just like addicted to something. And the other thing is there's YouTube all the time. There's always something to watch that to dedicate an hour every single night. I'd rather just watch YouTube for, a 3-minute video or a 10-minute video. Like, I need to find something, and maybe, Game of Thrones is what it is. Something that sucks you right in and you can't stop watching it, because once you have that, you're good for at least a couple weeks,
Yeah. You know what really hurt for my buddies and I is we're big Michael Myers Halloween fans, and the newest one was supposed to come out in October.
I know.
And it got moved to next.
But that ending, and a spoiler alert, that ending was so typical of a Michael Myers Halloween ending. But I'm like, why? Why are we doing this all over again with a new reboot
I
of the
don't mind the
series?
trilogy. I love it. Just do it the right way. Don't Rob Zombie it.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't Rob Zombie it.
What's that? What does that mean?
Halloween. The movie Halloween with Michael
Right.
Myers.
Right.
Okay. So they came out with all these movies, and then the franchise kind of sputtered out around 2002.
Yeah.
After Resurrection, that was the one with Busta Rhymes. Okay.
And it was terrible.
Kind of sputtered out. So what happened is Rob Zombie, the musician and director, basically said, I'm going to fire up the Halloween franchise, but I'm going to do it in my vision, right? And so he did his vision for what Halloween should be. And the first one wasn't good. There's no other way to say it. It wasn't good. But then what he basically did is he spit on everything with like the second movie. Then he did a
Everything.
Halloween 2 that was it was atrocious. So a lot of people that grew up with that and liked that genre were like, well, the Halloween, it's dead. The franchise is dead.
Right.
And then basically what they did is they a couple years back, they said, we're going to do this, but we're going to do it now 40 years later with like the original cast.
Yeah,
the
and what's his
original
name? Kenny
plot.
Powers. The guy who's in Kenny Powers, he directed it. And
Danny
he got,
McBride.
Yeah, and he got John Carpenter's blessing.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that really stuck out with that.
And
yeah.
so they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis. So Joik, it's like watching the Joik Bell show 40 years ago and then catching up with you 40 years later. I mean, it's insane. And so they put a lot of detail into it to make those of us that love that movie, and my buddies and I just, they give us a lot of those Easter eggs that make us happy. Like a nod to, oh my gosh, do you remember that character? Or, oh my gosh, that's Lonnie's son, and things like that. So they and of course with the pandemic, it was supposed to come out last.
It was supposed to come out this
October
Halloween,
18th, and then they said, we're just going to move it to 2021. So what they did is we found out it wasn't a one-time deal. Now it's 3 movies. So like it's called Halloween, Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends. So it's basically the movie, the classic horror movie, 40 years later. And shocker, he escapes and goes, and tries to find Jamie Lee Curtis. It's really cool.
That's crazy.
Some people aren't into the horror.
It's the greatest
genre.
horror franchise of all time.
Not
though.
even close.
Not
It's
even close.
not
Like
even close.
Freddy Krueger, Jason, we could talk Halloween and horror movies all day, but yeah.
Steve said Rob Zombie's Halloween was amazing. No holds barred.
No, it was too gory, and it
I
when
like
it was-
Chainsaw Massacre is better than me. I like Chainsaw Massacre.
Now,
Pretty hard to deny.
That's a good debate.
The original with
All right.
Leatherface.
Yep. All right.
This is like the ADD show today. We're
We're in
welcome
everything.
in, you know, come on in, Adam. This is the ADD show today.
All right. So
OSU.
OSU. I don't think that his daughter should have had. She didn't have to apologize. I think she said what she said.
I agree.
She said what she said.
I agree. In case you missed it,
Yeah.
if you're not confident to play, then say it. I call BS on the COVID cases. They're just worried about their quarterback and want him to have more time to heal. If he's hurt, put in your backup. You didn't see us postpone the rest of the season to wait for Waddle. Bye. That is Nick Saban's daughter.
Yeah.
And
What's up, Chris? I like the spiciness. I like the spiciness.
There is a heck of a lot of validity to that statement.
Yeah.
Here's the dangerous thing, okay? Here's the dangerous thing in something like this. And the irony that it's Ohio State is really funny. You know as well as I do, a lot of people thought that Michigan was trying to duck Ohio State. That was out there. Right. You know, you even had Kirk Herbstreit say that's Michigan waving the white flag. And I stuck up for Michigan then, and I stick up for Michigan now. Anybody that knows Jim Harbaugh, that's not Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is a competitor.
Period.
Jim Harbaugh knew that his team was probably going to go to the field and be slaughtered, but Jim Harbaugh welcomes that competition, okay? Yeah. And I'm willing to give Jim Harbaugh the credit he deserves in that. I never bought the waving the white flag stuff, okay? So with that being said, I'm convinced it was a COVID thing. I'm convinced it was a COVID thing for Michigan. Period. End of story. And they ended up missing their last game and everything.
Right.
But a lot of Ohio State fans had some issues with Michigan, quote unquote, ducking them, waving the white flag.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward a couple months and this happens. What do you think people are going to say?
Nothing.
People are going to say the exact same thing that
No.
Saban's daughter said.
The Ohio State, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Ohio State fans, they're not going to say anything. They're going to sit back and they, we hope we can get some more time.
Yeah.
Hope we can get some more time. But no, I don't think what she said. She said what she said. She was going to get some backlash on it, obviously. But like we said earlier, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequence.
Nope.
So deal with it. But if you are firm in what you believe, stand on that. Stand on it. Don't need to apologize. Don't retract it. Apologize to your dad if your dad is disappointed. But other than that, you don't owe us any apologies. You don't owe, no. I don't see anything wrong with what she said. That's what she felt.
You cannot get pissed off at the speculation if you were one of those people that was pissed off and speculated about Michigan. You can't do it.
You can't do it.
It doesn't work that way.
That's that double standard we saw yesterday.
You got it. It does not work that way. And that's my issue, Joik, is and like here Kenny said Michigan didn't want the smoke. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure that Michigan
First of all, don't Michigan, we want all the smoke.
But what
we
I mean
want
by
all,
that,
we want
Joik,
it all.
what I mean by
we
that
want all
is-
the smoke.
Joik,
No?
what I mean by that is they didn't duck Ohio State.
We didn't duck them.
They did not duck Ohio State. They were going to get pulverized on the football field, and who wants to see that? But I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that Michigan did not duck that game. That's not in Jim Harbaugh's DNA. That is not what Michigan's about. I think they would have taken the field and taken their beating if being the key and operative word, they could have. I refuse to believe that they ducked that game. I didn't believe it then. I don't believe it now. And I feel with Ohio State right now, especially since so many people from, Buckeye Nation and Kirk Herbstreit said what he said and later apologized for it. It's interesting that now, it happens to you and people are going to speculate just like they did with Michigan. People are going to say, oh, so is this about giving Justin Fields an extra week off? Is this about that shot that he took and getting him as healthy as you can to play in that championship game? You live by the sword, you die by the sword, man.
That's true.
It's the way it goes.
The way it is.
So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out moving forward. Listen, we have to take a quick break. When we come back, we've been teasing this for a while, and I disagree. I don't know who did this. I think Kennedy did this. Kennedy said, we're coming up, MVP of the Lions, best game for the Lions, worst game for the Lions, best play, things like that. I think it was Kennedy's choice. Kennedy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. She said the worst game for the Lions. I disagree, and I'll tell you why when we come back. Baligian and Bell on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to Grow Green, the green standard for garden supplies here in Michigan over the past 10 years. We offer the best gardening and lawn care products and have an extremely knowledgeable staff to help you create your dream garden or make your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Shop the store located in Whitmore Lake or online at growgreenmi.com. Delivery and curbside pickup available. Grow Green, making Michigan greener one grower at a time.
We wake up every day with a choice. Keep going down the same unfulfilling path or start chasing the life we dream about. At Northwestern Tech, we want to make that choice easier by allowing you to keep working your job while training for a real career in heating and cooling. And our hands-on program is only 10.5 months. So getting in the field and building a career and actually waking up with a purpose could be a lot easier than you think. Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
All right, so we've been so busy here this week, we really haven't had an opportunity to kind of put the capper on what was a very disappointing, there's no other way to say it, Lion season. And I'm going to have to tell you my my reasoning for this, because let's start right there. Can we start right there? Kennedy said the worst game of the year for the Lions was the Lions and Buccaneers. Am I allowed to start right there, Art? That doesn't screw you up or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Good. I'm going to put up the clip here in a second.
Can I tell you why I'm not going to pick that one? As bad as it was, as non-competitive as it was, and that was incredibly non-competitive. Yeah. They were playing Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, who ended up in the playoffs, right? So you half expect to get your butt kicked, right?
Not like that.
Not like that. I agree.
Not like that.
But can I take it a step further?
You can, but
the ones that hurt me the most, when they got shut out by an awful Carolina Panther football team. They lost 20-0 to a Carolina defense that was absolutely atrocious. I mean, atrocious. They got shut out, and that team finished 5-11. And this one might take the cake for me. The Thanksgiving Day game against Deshaun Watson and the Texans. They were 4-12. That was a horrible football team, and the Lions were absolutely non-competitive in that game. That one hurt me because you expect a good football team to smack you. You don't expect a bad football team, a team that finished worse than you,
I know what you're talking about. I don't know if we're watching the same game.
All right.
That Tampa game was completely embarrassing.
Oh, it was embarrassing.
I turned the game off. And we could talk about Houston, but right now, what is? Can you put this up for me? What Watson? What's Deshaun Watson? What was his passing yards this year? Did he lead the NFL in passing?
He had to throw all over the place because they were an awful football team. Awful football team. And so that I mean, to me,
did he throw over 5,000 this year?
Yeah, no, 4,400.
4,400.
Yep.
In
2019 he had 3,800. 2020 he's got 4,458 so far.
Heck of a quarterback.
Okay.
No, but you know what?
So I don't mind. You have a quarterback like that can break down secondaries in defenses the way that he does. We scored, and I think we played more competitive in that game than what we did against Tampa. Not saying that we was, but definitely Tampa game I turned it off.
Well, I'm not going to argue with
I
that.
turned it off. They lost 47-7.
Second quarter, you could turn that. They could have scored 70 that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope you understand my point. There's a reason Tampa's in the playoffs. There's a reason that Tampa won as many games as they did. There's also, and here comes that line again, Joik, you are what your record indicates.
Yeah.
A team that is allegedly worse than you, that had 4 wins, went up and down the field on you and pretty much did whatever they wanted offensively. I think that pissed me off even more, if that's possible. As non-competitive as that Tampa game was, at least you can say that's a pretty damn good Tampa team. But the 4-12 team embarrassed you. And that one pissed me off. It's a matter of opinion. Kennedy, I hope you know, I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, it's a matter of opinion. Anybody can pick whatever they want. But to me, that was the one that just, I think on that day, I knew if you didn't know it already, on Thanksgiving you knew it was over. You knew Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn were over. And as fate would have it, it happened 2 days later. They literally got canned 2 days later.
Yeah.
The question was, if you remember, is Bob Quinn going to go too? But you knew on that day Matt Patricia was over.
Yeah, but like I said, you got to look, man. Washington threw for 4,800 yards this year. That's what I'm looking at. This is ESPN. Where do you get your information from, Art?
The World Wide Web, Google?
No, I'm on ESPN. He threw for 40.
World Wide Web.
It says, how many passing yards does Deshaun Watson have? 2020,
I'm
Houston
looking on
Texans.
ESPN on internet right now. It's 48. It's 4,800.
It's 4,458. That's what I got over here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You look
That's
it up,
okay.
Sean.
Did you say you're sorry?
We have you go for it, Sean.
I'll look it up for you.
This spells his name the right way.
I got it for you. 4,823, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Thank you. Where's Adam? Where's Adam when you need him? Where Adam? Get in here.
Deshaun Watson's don't get me wrong, Deshaun Watson's a damn good quarterback.
good quarterback,
But
so-
they're a 4-12 team.
It doesn't.
Ugh.
But you said that he threw all over us. They beat us 40-something to 25.
I might be able to throw all over them.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
If anything, I would rather you just say Carolina because we didn't score, all right? But I think Tampa Bay was worse. We scored 1 touchdown.
It was Agnew.
It was Agnew.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, we got shut out again.
No.
Offensively, we got shut out that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, Jamal Agnew was the only reason we scored that game. And I think going forward, this team really needs help defensively. They need help offensively on that O-line. I think if they can fix the trenches, it will make all the other players around them better.
You have
It'll make
two
the second
good pieces, man.
because people don't understand. If you have a good, interior, it makes the exterior. It makes the secondary that much better. It makes it that much better because the quarterback has less time to sit in the pocket, and the receivers have less time to get open. And so, like I told you, in 2014, we had one of the best defenses in the league because our D line were monstrous. And so, but yeah,
Get those guys coming off the edge. And you know what? You brought up the offensive line as well. I think they have 2 really good pieces. I'm going to say it again. I think you've got the best center in the game in Frank Ragnow. Yeah. And it's amazing what happens when you get a nice piece next to a guy like Taylor Decker. Yeah. Taylor Decker's been a better player because of Frank Ragnow. Isn't that crazy how that works itself out? But it's like you bring it up all the time. Joik Bell's going to look better running behind a damn good line. I mean, that's just the way hand in glove, man.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's the NFL.
Yep.
That's the NFL, man. And I kind of picked that up as I played, and then just watching certain teams that were going to the playoffs every year. You look at their interior line on offense and defense, and they usually have a pretty good defensive line and a pretty good offensive line. And so I think we start there and build from there. Yeah,
no doubt. MVP, as we get back to our superlatives video, MVP, I don't think there's any question about this.
It is questions about it.
Do you really? Yeah? I'm going with number 9 as the MVP. Look at that picture, by the way. Look at that picture.
Kennedy added the glasses.
Way
Big
to
shout
go.
out to Kennedy.
Way to go, Kennedy.
Is that Stafford?
Is that a younger
Oh, yeah,
Matthew
that's
Stafford?
Stafford.
Yeah, a younger Matthew Stafford.
Younger
I got him as the MVP of the Lions. Who do you got?
I got him as MVP.
Okay.
Okay. I thought we were talking about the.
No,
Yeah.
MVP. And Matthew Stafford's the MVP of the Lions.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
No question.
it's interesting, Joik, because
And people could talk, but he threw for over 4,000, threw for 28 touches, threw 10 interceptions. He was a highlight of the offense. He's the heartbeat of that Detroit Lions offense. Period.
I don't care what anybody says. I will say this until, unfortunately, he's gone, and who knows how soon it will be. But I don't think this guy will be fully appreciated until he's long gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
And when I say fully appreciated,
like
I
any
mean,
good relationship.
yeah, isn't that amazing how that works out? Yeah.
Look
but-
at Kennedy. I know a couple guys that.
Well, this is a guy a few years ago, Joy. You know what? You're the perfect guy. You and I have never talked about this. You're the perfect guy to talk to about this. I thought that Matthew Stafford, back in your first few years, made too many stupid throws. And he made and a lot of those throws turned into interceptions.
You know why though? Because his arm talent is he's very confident in his arm, and so some throws that a lot of people can make, he had the green light to try to make those throws because far often than not he can sometimes get it through, right? So he can make that pass, but sometimes the ball might get tipped. Or
And the one thing that I said, and you know what, this happened, I'd say around 14, 15, maybe when he started going with Jim Bob Cooter. The one thing that if you look at his numbers, and you can check this at home, you know what, you saw the mistakes go like this. All of a sudden, those interception totals kind of dipped, and you saw his completion percentage, his accuracy, his QBR, that started to do that, and the mistakes started to go like that. Is he still prone to throw that kind of pass that Joik just described? Absolutely. He's got the utmost confidence in himself, and sadly, it's at inopportune times and sometimes end up back in the end zone. But to me, the one thing that I said is he's got to be better at limiting his mistakes. And you know what, Joik? He has been. That happened on your watch while you were there. 14, 15 interceptions, whatever the case may be. He knocked those totals down. I think he became a smarter player, and you saw the numbers go up because of it. And
Yeah, and I think it's you can say it's because of Jim Bob Cooter, but I think it was when Calvin left and he was forced to incorporate the entire offense around.
Great point. Great point.
Because we had Jim Bob Cooter when he was throwing those picks as well. So I think it was more so when Calvin leaving and like, okay, I have to get everyone involved now. And so everyone started to get more involved. And I think those were when the mistakes minimized.
I have said this for 10 years, and if you've in particular watched me on Fox in the past, if I had $1 the amount of times I said this on Fox, I'd be a rich man. But Matthew Stafford's problem is he's not great. That's his problem. He's good. He's a very good quarterback. And I think people want him to be great. And because of that, I don't think people realize how good he is. If that makes
He threw for
any
over
sense.
4,000 yards.
Yeah.
He threw for over 4,000
What
yards.
more do you need?
Threw 28 touches. Like, what do you want?
To me, and this is where I'm going to get snobby. I always talk about the Hall of Fame. We were talking about the other day. It's not the Hall of Very Good. It's a Hall of Great. I don't put Matthew Stafford in the great category. I put him in the damn good quarterback category, and I hope he stays here for the next few years. I don't think it's going to happen. Just one man's opinion. I don't think it's going to happen. But I had no problem with Matthew Stafford being quarterback of the Detroit Lions. I would rather have him than a vast majority of guys in the league. Period. End of story.
But the conversation comes back to, so we get rid of Matthew Stafford. Who do we bring in? And I don't know anyone that's out there that we can bring in that will not even bring in to be a good quarterback. I don't want to see it's a quarterback out there right now that we can build with.
Can I be selfish?
I'm
going to be very selfish.
And you're going to go to the draft? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean,
but this is where I come in as selfish. Matthew, pretty please, can you stay here for the next 2 years while we groom this guy? Well, what veteran quarterback wants to do that? Knowing he's going to get his ass kicked.
Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going through that right now. He doesn't want to do that.
Nobody wants to do that. No. It worked for Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. That was, Aaron Rodgers is mentoring a young guy in Green Bay right now, but he's not handing that mantle over anytime soon. No way. So.
No. So usually guys on the tail end of their career, kind of like a Don Orlovsky, came back and was able to sit down in that quarterback room with Matthew Stafford and help groom him because he was very knowledgeable about the game. He was a better player's coach than what he was when he was playing, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, but he was a good player, but he was able to sit down with Matthew, be able to converse with Matthew, and like, what do you think about this? What do you see? Well, watch this because when they drop in the cover two, they might You know, he has that type of experience to be able to give Matthew Stafford. I can't give Matthew Stafford those tips at quarterback, but I can give you a lot of tips at running back. You know, I can give you a lot of tips over there.
Yeah.
And so every position with a veteran player with experience in it, you can always learn little things that can make you that much of a better player.
Hell yeah.
And that's what I'm pretty sure that's what Aaron Rodgers was able to get from Brett Favre.
Isn't that, you know what, you bring up something I think we as people need to be better at that, because I think that's one of sports lessons that can become a life lessons type of thing. There is somebody who, and I'm not going to say his name because I know it would embarrass him, but there is somebody who I madly respect in the broadcasting business. Right. Madly respect. He has done everything. He's near the top of the heap, okay? And when I was young, 15 years ago, he probably wouldn't even remember this. I had a conversation with him, and you know what he told me? And it stuck with me to this day, and I tell young people that are getting into this business to try to do that same thing. Joik, he said to me, be a sponge. You can always learn something else. You can always be better at this job. And here's coming from a guy that was literally at the top of the heap, that was making, I'm not joking, millions of dollars a year. And I said to myself, well, holy crap, if this guy can check his ego, if this guy who's done everything that you can possibly do in the business can check his ego, well, who the hell am I not to think that way? You know, and so that's the way I'm picking stuff up every day. I can be better at what I do. I can be better for you. I can be better for the viewers. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, man. It's all about getting better.
A player that stops learning is the player that stops growing. And so I was very, very adamant.
It's a great line. I like that line. Sorry, I took that in my head. That was, the player that stops learning is the player that stops growing. That's a great line. Yeah,
it's period. And no shape or fashion at any point in your career when you sit there and you say, I'm here, I've arrived, I know everything, you don't know anything. I take things from even a younger guy, right? I could take things from a younger guy that he might have learned from an older player that I didn't have an opportunity to play with. And so, like, I'm never that older guy that think I know everything. But I do offer my wisdom, because I think the most important thing you can give any person that's in football, outside, in real life, is information, right? And sometimes that's the most, that's the thing that people are more, are the stingiest with, is giving out information. And so I was lucky enough to be able to play with some guys who were able to give me information. They weren't stingy. They wanted to see me successful. I always talk about Fred Jackson, but another guy that was very influential to me, his career was cut short due to a brain tumor, was J.C. Harrison.
Okay.
I think he had the Browns rushing record, single game rushing record, and we played together in Philly. He ended up getting traded to the Lions, and when I came to the Lions, he had just left, and I actually took 35 from him, because he was done playing. But a great teammate to me from Kalamazoo, Michigan, played with Greg Jennings in high school, and a guy that I learned from. And he would give me game about life. You know, he would give me it was amazing, like the wisdom that he would pour into me, and we still keep in touch to this day, man. And so shout out to J.C. Harrison, man.
What up? Is he healthy?
He's back. He's getting back. So what happened was, I mean, it was one of those things to where. It was tragic what happened. He had a brain tumor. He would have headaches in meetings. He would ask the coach to turn the lights off during meetings. He would wear shades in the meeting room for the sensitivity of light. So he ended up getting a brain scan. Sorry, he had a tumor. They said they'll go in and cut it out, and when the scar healed, you'll be able to go back. But when they got in there, the tumor was engulfed with different nerves. So he went from being like a 230-pound strong, I mean, he was a specimen, to like not being able to walk, drop it down to like 130 pounds, because he had to learn how to walk again, how to eat again, and I mean, mentally, just mentally strong, man, mentally strong.
God love him.
Yeah, I mean, and there's guys like that. I mean, I love this story. I love where he came from. So he taught me a lot about life. And so that type of information you can't get from watching a player play. You have to speak with these people. So kudos to him. So
we'll finish this Lion stuff in just a moment, including best game. Again, it's everybody's opinion. Best play of the year. I don't think there's any debate about this one personally.
Which one was it to you? The catch when he got hit in the back?
Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, okay.
Since 2001, we have had, maybe 4 seasons that weren't over by Thanksgiving. Jeez. Dude, you and me both. Kenny said, it lights a fire under a vet quarterback. Look what happened to Aaron Rodgers. That guy could win MVP when they took the quote-unquote quarterback of the future. Tom said, if a top 3 quarterback is at 7 this year, you take it. You can't pass it up twice. However, if one's not there, at least grab one at the second round. We're going to be talking more about the draft. Scott Bischoff was in the other day. We're going to try to have him in not only to talk with Joik and I once a week, but to do a draft show each and every week. Scott and I have done some for the Lions Network, as a matter of fact, Joik in the past. So we're going to try to transfer that over here to Woodward Sports as well. We'll talk about some more Lions stuff when we come back. Also, maybe some of the NFL awards as well. Because I'll tell you one that I disagree with. I disagree with MVP. I'll tell you who they think should be MVP, and I'll tell you who I know is MVP.
Who?
I'll tell you when we come back.
Welcome to Grow Green, the green standard for garden supplies here in Michigan over the past 10 years. We offer the best gardening and lawn care products and have an extremely knowledgeable staff to help you create your dream garden or make your yard the envy of the neighborhood. Shop the store located in Whitmore Lake or online at growgreenmi.com. Delivery and curbside pickup available. Grow Green, making Michigan greener one grower at a time.
We wake up every day with a choice. Keep going down the same unfulfilling path or start chasing the life we dream about. At Northwestern Tech, we want to make that choice easier by allowing you to keep working your job while training for a real career in heating and cooling. And our hands-on program is only 10.5 months. So getting in the field and building a career and actually waking up with a purpose could be a lot easier than you think. Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
What up? What was it? Trash Thursday?
Throw
up Thursday? All right, you know what? We're cleaning up, though, right?
We're cleaning up.
We're cleaning up.
We're cleaning up.
We were all kind of, a little sick to our stomach earlier from the events of yesterday. And
we took some Pepto-Bismol.
Right? We turned into Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow and all
you
that
like
stuff.
That,
we're singing.
You like that?
All right, so we're going to get into some of Sports Illustrated guesses for the NFL awards. I disagree with MVP. If you watch a show, you know who I'm going to say. I've got a man crush for this guy. I'm not gonna lie. I got a man crush for this guy. Mm-hmm. Best game of the year for the Lions. Kennedy, you picked a great one. The Lions win against Washington with Matt Prater hitting a 588-yard field goal to end the game. I really enjoyed the Lions-Falcons game as well. Remember where they should have taken a knee, but they scored the touchdown. Then the Lions got the ball back and ended up winning. But there you go. There's your video. Poor Alex Smith. Poor Alex.
It's a face for me. Look at You know what, though? That's the part of the game I love the most is when you make a play and you watch the other team's sideline. Oh, it's great.
Can I tell you, now I can say this now that he's been gone, and I'm never going to give up my sources because I will never, ever, ever give up sources, ever, ever. Trust me on that, Joik Bell. Do you know what I had heard? And you can tell me if you heard this or not.
Rewind that back a little bit. I think Prater might have said something to my guy after he kicked the field goal.
All right, let's see.
I think he might have said something to him, a little chirping.
59-yarder, good.
I think that gave him the record, right? He said something to him. I think he said something right there. I love it, Prater.
I think he said, I'm getting some Bud Light.
Yeah, run up. Yeah, he wanted some. He couldn't do nothing. The whole team got to him, no. I love it.
One more time. Look at.
I love it. Yeah, get on my field,
all right,
boy.
rewind it again. What did Matt Prater say?
I'm going to tell you what he said. I'm going to tell you what he said. Get off my field, boy. Go home.
All All right, hold on a second. Rewind. Now it's my turn. All right, can you do it? Now I'm gonna do Livonia.
You ready?
All right, here it comes. What up, bitch? That's how we do in Livonia. Get those L's up. Now I can say this. Joyke, I don't know if you heard this. I had a really good source tell me that Matt Patricia was supposed to get fired that day. But Matt Prater hit the field goal and it didn't happen. I kid you not. I have a very... Did you hear that story?
I didn't hear that story.
Okay, a very, very, very good source told me that Matt Patricia was supposed to get fired, but the mindset, the logic was, how can we fire him after we just won that game? That's what I was told. I'm not going to tell you who told me. I will just tell you it was a very, very good source.
I know who it was.
Because they knew.
All right, just tell me this. Was it in the front office?
I'm not even playing that game.
I played that game with you.
Not even playing that game. Not even. No, it was.
That's all I didn't know.
Write it on a piece of paper.
The logic was they knew it was going to happen anyway.
All right, let me ask you this.
But they couldn't do it that day.
Let me ask you this.
All right. This is like
Did they
20
work
questions.
at the practice facility? Did they work at the practice facility or at Ford Field?
I can't say.
You can't say that either?
I can't.
That's 1,000
No,
people.
because you know what? Here, Joyce,
working.
let me tell you. Joyce, let me tell you something. I wouldn't do that to you. If you told me something off the record, I would never ever.
Yes, you did.
No, I would never betray your trust.
Yes, you did.
No,
I would
betray
never
the
tell you
source.
something.
How's that?
Goes on to tell you something.
No. That itself was kind of common knowledge, but who told me is what I'm saying. I'd never say, oh well, Joyce told me. You know, you can't do that.
You don't have to say no names. I didn't say you had to say
I bet
any
you
names.
can figure it out. I'll leave it at that.
I know I can figure it out. I just need to know: do they work at the game facility or do they work at the practice facility?
Well, if you remember what happened, they won that game, and then they had the Carolina game.
Right.
And that's where Mrs. Ford was like this at the Carolina game. And then the Thanksgiving Day was 4 days later. So what I was told, this is what I was told, is after the Carolina game, they knew where they were going to happen. It was definitely going to happen, but you can't do it Thanksgiving week. You can't, when you have 4 days, when you have to turn around and get the team ready, how do you say we're blowing everything up? It's completely unfair to you guys on the field.
Yeah.
We're blowing everything up. Best of luck. You have 3 days to prepare for Houston coming to town. So to me, it was supposed to happen, the way it was explained to me, it was supposed to happen in the Washington game, but their mindset was, we're not going to do it now because they won in dramatic fashion, but it's going to happen soon. And then it couldn't happen after the Carolina game. So there was no doubt in my mind it was going to happen, and
I got you.
Thanksgiving ended up being the day. Best play of the year, you got that, Art?
Yep.
All right, best play of the year. Pretty hard to argue with this one. Good luck with it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, fully extended.
Dude.
Fully extended.
Dude.
Fully extended. Putting your body on the line.
Dude.
No, he's coming. No protection. Just,
Look at him pop right back up, too.
And when you take hits like that, you have to pop, bent them backwards.
Oh, my back just went into
This
spasms.
is where your yoga comes in.
See, that's part of the reason. If I had to pick a game of the year, I might pick Atlanta game. I might pick that Atlanta game. And I think, to be honest with you, that was kind of like I still had some hope that maybe they could turn it around. As crazy as that sounds, that eternal 10-year-old in me was like, well, maybe they could put a little win streak together and they'll show you.
You sound like Stick.
They'll show you. You'll see. You'll all see. Because if you remember, they had won 2 in a row. That was their second. That was their 2-game win streak.
And
so
those
that was kind of like
great pass. He put it high enough to where the defender couldn't.
Nobody's
get a hand
getting
on
that
it.
but Kenny.
And then right where he can at least turn his body to it.
Can I tell you one thing I saw? You were gone already, but when Kenny came in, I was at training camp one incredibly hot Sunday afternoon in Kenny's rookie year. Camp gets done, all right? Everybody's leaving the field. You know the routine. Guys are coming up, bothering you.
Right.
Hey, can I get a word and everything? 2 guys stayed on the practice field. a rookie from Northern Illinois University, and a veteran from the University of Georgia. Matthew Stafford and Kenny Galladay stayed on the field probably a half hour, just doing extra things, just the two of them, to build that thing, to build that sync. I remember watching that, and it's funny, you can go back, I tweeted it out that day. I go, I'm telling you what right now, Kenny Galladay's a good one. You know, because he made that effort. He approached the vet and said, hey, can we work together? You know, I want to make sure I got everything down. And it wasn't as precise as like when you described Drew Brees going through his progressions.
It's different.
And when you described Peyton Manning, but it was pretty precise at the same time. It was pretty cool to watch, man.
So this is one thing, because a receiver in practice is doing a lot of running, right? They're doing a lot of running, probably a few miles a day in practice. So at the end of practice, what Drew would do was he would run the routes with the receivers after practice, but instead of making them running the entire route, starting from the line, running the entire route, he'll let them start at the top of their break. And just break and come down and work on their time in that way to save their legs. Yeah. So certain things like that I had never seen before. I never seen it in college, high school, any NFL team I've ever been on. It was only with the Saints that I saw them to be able to go to the top of their route and still have the timing as if they ran the full route.
Sure.
And so I'm like, dang, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And this was every week, every Wednesday he would do this with his receivers to start the week off. To see a young guy go to a veteran, usually it's the veteran going to the younger guys or going to the receivers and them collectively coming together. To see a young guy come in, he gets it. And that's why I don't agree with the comment about young African-American players want to come in and build their brand versus what can I do to be a better player. It's stories like that I never knew about that show you that we want to be the best player.
I watched it. It was unbelievable. When I saw that, Joy, at least I was smart enough to sit back and go, okay, this kid wants it. This kid knows he's better than where he was drafted. He knows that there's more to the NFL life than just being a guy. Yeah. And I'll say it again. Before this past season, in my opinion, and you and I didn't have a conversation about this, I thought Kenny Galladay was on the cusp of being a top 10 receiver in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, we've got a lot of questions about him. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. What exactly is going on with the hip, et cetera, et cetera. But
physical game.
Man, I'll tell you what. If the guy's healthy, my boy can play. All right, some NFL awards. Kennedy found this from Sports Illustrated. You ready? MVP, Aaron Rodgers. No.
No.
All right, who you going
with? I like
with?
him. I mean, you can argue that. All right, you can argue.
Yeah.
You can argue that, and I love Aaron Rodgers, but I think what he did this year, he took his game. I mean, he took his team. They had a great season, but I think if we're talking about an individual performance, you got to give it to Derrick Henry.
Pretty hard to argue.
You got to give it to Derrick Henry.
Pretty hard to argue.
Yeah.
I'm going to argue with you, though.
You can argue, but it's only been he's the 8th person to ever get it. Now I know who you're going to go with, but what have they done this season that make them the only 8th person to do it, or NFL history of doing it?
You know what a lot of it comes back to? I think because, and there was a really interesting article yesterday, Kennedy, if you can find it, there was, I think it was on ESPN, there was an article from this guy who basically said, I'm going to be the first one to say it. I was wrong about Josh Allen. And what he did, it was really cool. In the story, he included all these quotes from like Dan Orlovsky, from Troy Aikman, from Colin Cowherd, from all these people just destroying Josh Allen and how he's never going to make it. Like, forget about being good. He's not an NFL quarterback. And I know you and I have talked about this a lot.
I'm going to ask you this.
For me, I don't care how pretty the guy looks. Does the guy get it done? I want that guy that gets it done.
Does he do the same thing he's doing now with a defense that's not ranked? It's one of the top defenses in the NFL.
It's hard to say. I don't know.
I think, and that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
I can tell you now that the Titans, with a good quarterback. I'm gonna say good quarterback.
Tannehill was good. He had a good year.
A good year. A good quarterback. But he wasn't the reason he was a good. I mean, he wasn't the reason he was a good quarterback. He had a great running back that helped take a guy out of the secondary, put it in the box.
By the way, Kennedy's awesome. She found that story immediately, as she posted it on our Facebook page.
Right.
It's Eric Carabell saying I was wrong about Josh Allen, and it was hysterical because he went back and found all these quotes from all these guys just saying, like Orlovsky was like, I don't think the guy belongs in the league. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but it's so.
But he's getting it done.
He is so exciting.
Let's watch his career.
Oh, no question. I'm talking about this year, though.
This year,
this
I don't
year,
think he's an MVP this year. But I think he's a great quarterback.
It was an MVP type of year. I mean, I
think it goes Derrick Henry.
Okay.
All right, Derrick Henry, Aaron Rodgers, if we're gonna do, and then it plays a part of what are we looking at? What are we looking at in order to be MVP? Like, are we looking at passing yards? Are we looking at touchdowns? Are we looking at rushing yards? Are we looking at?
I think all of it with a heavy dose of team success. That's just my opinion of what an MVP should be.
That's why I say you have to give it to Derrick Henry.
I think all three of them make the argument in that regard, because here's it. Did you expect Green Bay to be a playoff team?
Yes.
Yes. Did you expect Tennessee to be a playoff team? Yeah, after last year, I expected it because remember,
but they've been so streaky, you don't know.
Did you expect Buffalo to be a playoff team? That was the one where, okay, maybe they could get. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I got mad respect for Josh Allen.
I would say, when you look at their division, I would say yes.
Especially with the Patriots being good point. With the Patriots going like that.
You look at the division.
Good point.
The Jets didn't have talent.
Division.
Miami.
Division.
It was between them and Miami.
Miami almost got in the playoffs too. It's incredible.
It was between those two. And
all right. Offensive player of the year. You said you could even switch these two, Derrick Henry and Aaron Rodgers. I would go with Derrick Henry as the offensive player of the year.
I would go with him as the MVP. He's done something that's not done too often here. It's not done often. And then he already had and back to back. Has that ever been done before?
Good point.
Has that ever been done before?
It's insane.
Look that up. Has that ever been done before for a running back to have back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons?
No. I can tell you that right now. No.
Never.
No.
And so how does he not get it?
No.
How does he not get it?
So here's defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. If you want to argue with that, good luck.
Good luck.
Be my guest.
I can't argue that. No.
I'm not.
I have no dog in that fight. I have no dog in that
Anybody?
fight.
Yeah, didn't think so.
Justin
Offensive
Herbert?
rookie of the year. I could make a little argument about this. I'm not going to.
Who?
Justin Jefferson. I think the kid's going to be a flipping stud.
He set the record.
Stud.
That's a great.
Stud. He's going to be. Woe be to us. I'm serious. Justin Herbert, with what's around him.
What's that?
He doesn't have a lot around him. Maybe you could say that.
Was that him or Diggs where they caught out Kirk Cousins when they was in the back of the end zone, and you can hear the players because there's no fans, and so open in the back of the end zone, and Kirk Cousins throws it over his head, and he says, "Come on, Kurt." He like, "Come on, Kurt." Damn. like throw the ball, Kurt. Shit. You know. Like this. Sorry, Grandma. Wasn't my words. Wasn't my words. It was his words. It wasn't my words. Was that Jefferson?
Yeah. Steve has a good question.
And that's as a rookie holding your quarterback accountable, right? But you can only hold your quarterback accountable, right, when you're doing everything the right way.
Yeah.
Right? And so you know that Cousin has respect for the kid because he's doing everything the right way. Right? Yep. If you're not doing everything the right way, there's no way a quarterback is taking that, especially a veteran quarterback taking that. And a Kirk Cousins, because I've seen Peyton Manning run. I don't know. You remember Blair White?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were playing Tennessee, It was my rookie year, and Blair ran the wrong route and ended up where Reggie Wayne was. And when they threw the ball, Blair, it went through. Blair, he could have caught it for a touchdown, but it went through his hands, and then flew over Reggie Wayne's head. And from 40 yards down the field, I think it was a national televised game, I believe. Peyton Manning ran down the field, pointing at Blair and cussing, "What the are you doing? We're not supposed to go out." And like running down the field, like holding them accountable. But it's certain ways you hold a player accountable.
No,
right?
absolutely.
Like you make like in the NFL, you're going to make mistakes. You can never make the same mistake twice.
Steve said, "How do you have Allen MVP but not Offensive Player of the Year?" It's a great question. I'll explain it this way. Josh Allen took a team that was a non-playoff team and said, "Jump on my shoulder," and they got into the playoffs. He took his team from here to here. All right? You already had Henry, as great as he is. They were already a playoff team. Aaron Rodgers, already a playoff team.
Well, he'll be the most improved player or something like I don't know.
Unbelievable. Really.
I think
respect.
I think the NFL should have a most improved player as well for situations like this.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think like have a most improved, like for the Lions we had like a most improved player.
Sure.
But I guess we're out of time.
Yeah, Grammy Whammy said, "Great show, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Shout out
Awesome.
to my Grammy Whammy.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Joy, see you Friday. Looking forward to it. A lot of NFL tomorrow. It's the NFL playoff weekend.
A lot of NFL.
See
Make sure
you
you guys tap in on Monday. Gang, gang.